Like I told you, Derek. Either you or the parents. Well, I guess I'll just have to take them now. In a few minutes, they'll be dead.
Even though it's been quite a few years since Teen Wolf wrapped up its 6th season, fans haven't given up hope. In fact, the hope has only grown stronger thanks to the release of Teen Wolf the movie, which premiered on Paramount Plus on January 26. It reignited excitement and brought back much of what made the series special, especially with original cast members like Tyler Posey and Tyler Hoechlin reprising their roles. The movie's creator, Jeff Davis, even said it himself, this film is practically Season 7 condensed into one big cinematic package. So why does that matter? Because it shows that the interest, energy, and creative spark behind Teen Wolf are still very much alive. Davis poured the kind of storytelling depth into the movie that fans would expect from a full season. In his own words, it was a colossal undertaking, packed with tear-jerking scenes, callbacks to classic moments, and a handful of fresh new additions like Vince Mattis playing Eli, Derek Hale's son. That kind of storytelling commitment doesn't just fade away. It proves there's still a road open for more stories. It makes sense too. The movie continues right where the series finale left off, diving back into the supernatural chaos of Beacon Hills. Paramount Plus teased a terrifying new evil on the rise, one that demands the return of not just werewolves, but banshees, hellhounds, kitsunes, and every other night creature fans fell in love with. That kind of build-up feels tailor-made for more than just a single film. It hints at future episodes, maybe even another full season. One of the most promising signs is that so many of the original cast members came back. Alongside Posey and Hoechlin, there was Crystal Reed, Holland Roden, Shelley Hennig, J.R. Bourne, Colton Haynes, Ian Bohen, Melissa Ponzio, Dylan Sprayberry, Lyndon Ashby, and Seth Gilliam. With such a huge ensemble ready to return, it feels like the universe of Teen Wolf isn't finished yet. And if the chemistry between characters is still there, as fans saw in the movie, it makes a great case for pushing ahead with a Season 7. Of course, not everyone returned. Dylan O'Brien, who played Styles Stylinski, was notably absent, and Arden Cho didn't come back as Kira. But even though O'Brien couldn't make it work with the film's quick turnaround, he made it clear that Teen Wolf still means the world to him. His deep love for the show leaves the door open for possible future involvement. And Cho's absence, while disappointing, doesn't mean she couldn't return later. A series has more flexibility to reintroduce characters over time. Now, while some felt that Teen Wolf the movie didn't quite capture the full magic of the series, it still served an important role. It reminded people of the characters, their connections, and the world they once loved to get lost in. Sure, not every moment landed, and yes, the absence of key players like Styles and Kira was felt, especially considering the story featured the return of Nagatsune, who was closely tied to those characters. But it wasn't just about being perfect, it was about reigniting the fire. If anything, the criticism the movie received just shows how passionate the fanbase still is. People care enough to notice what's missing, and they want more of what once made Teen Wolf so compelling. That passion is fuel. It's the kind of thing that can push a studio or creator to take another shot, this time with a fuller story and maybe a longer format. Another factor to consider is the success of supernatural teen dramas in today's streaming landscape. With shows like Stranger Things, The Umbrella Academy, and The Vampire Diaries universe continuing to perform well, the appetite is clearly there. Paramount Plus even launched Wolfpack, also developed by Jeff Davis, which premiered the same day as Teen Wolf the movie. Though Wolfpack exists in a separate universe, the fact that Davis continues to explore this genre proves he has more stories to tell, and that fans are still showing up for them. The misconception that Wolfpack was a spin-off of Teen Wolf actually highlights just how ready people are for more. It's not an easy assumption to make. Both shows revolve around teenagers dealing with supernatural transformations, share the same creator, and even have overlapping crew members. If audiences are still this invested and hopeful, then it only makes sense to channel that energy into a direct continuation of Teen Wolf. And honestly, a new season could fix a lot of what didn't quite land in the movie. It could give more space for proper character arcs, bring back missing fan favorites like Styles and Kira, and dive deeper into the emotional and mystical elements that once defined the show. There's also an opportunity to explore newer characters like Eli Hale in more depth. Instead of trying to fit everything into 2 hours, a season would let the storyline breathe. One of the biggest criticisms of the movie was that it felt rushed and overloaded, trying to do too much with too little time. But that just proves how much story is still left to tell. Compressing what would have been an entire season into one film was ambitious, but it also left a bunch of loose ends and underdeveloped plots. A full season could not only resolve those, but also open up fresh long-term arcs. Then there's the nostalgia factor. Teen Wolf built a world that fans felt connected to. Beacon Hills wasn't just a setting, it was home. Rebuilding that setting for a new season would give longtime viewers a reason to come back and newer ones a reason to join in. With platforms like Paramount Plus hungry for content and proven IPs, a Season 7 of Teen Wolf practically sells itself. Even though some people felt the movie wasn't necessary, it was still a step forward. It proved the cast is willing, the fans are eager, and the mythology still has room to grow. As long as those elements are in place, there's every reason to believe that Teen Wolf Season 7 could still happen and succeed. So while Teen Wolf the movie might not have been perfect, it kept the heart of the show beating, and sometimes that's all you need to start the next chapter. The passion, potential, and power of this fan-favorite series are still strong, and that's reason enough to believe we haven't seen the last of Beacon Hills just yet. Even though Dylan O'Brien's absence in Teen Wolf the movie was felt deeply, especially since his character Styles Stylinski was such a magnetic presence, that doesn't mean the door is closed on finding a new dynamic to energize the pack in a potential Season 7. In fact, if Season 7 is to move forward, it could introduce a brand new character who isn't meant to replace Styles, but rather add a new energy that shifts the group dynamic in an exciting direction. The key would be casting a star with real screen presence, someone who could hold their own alongside Tyler Posey Scott and bring something completely fresh to Beacon Hills. Adding a high-profile actor, someone known for charisma, emotional depth, or even past supernatural or action roles, could help fill the gap while creating a new arc that expands the mythology of the show. Imagine someone like Timothée Chalamet, Joe Keery, or even Jacob Elordi entering the Teen Wolf universe as a mysterious new ally or threat. Their presence could reframe the stakes and provide a bold narrative direction that excites longtime fans, while giving newer viewers a reason to tune in. And it wouldn't need to be a one-on-one replacement for Styles either. What Teen Wolf has always done well is lean into character complexity. So rather than trying to mimic the quirky, fast-talking brilliance that Styles brought to the team, this new character could bring something else entirely. Maybe they're emotionally guarded, morally ambiguous, or tied to a darker secret about Beacon Hills. They might even have ties to the supernatural world that challenge Scott's leadership or force the pack to rethink their understanding of what's possible. Bringing in a star also has marketing appeal. With the right name attached, the hype around Teen Wolf Season 7 could reach a new level, especially if the announcement is teased properly. This casting could also help smooth over the disappointment of O'Brien's absence by shifting attention toward what's next rather than what's missing. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.